Well, welcome everybody. We have about half the people who signed up online. They probably keep coming in as we go on. Thank you for attending this webinar. This is Gabe, and I know it says Eric Zebart there up on top. There's two pictures, but Eric is not here today because he was traveling and visiting friends in San Diego. So I'm going to do this. This is a new service also, so probably I'm a better person to show it. Not as articulate as Eric is and with an accent, but maybe that will make things a little bit more interesting. Anyways, let's start. So this is about homes by SMS. And this is a very, very simple tool set. I think no one else has anything like this. There's lots of texting services and of all kinds at all prices. There's a texting service in our regular Pro account where you can text for listings and you can set up links and text to those links like for your open homes and other stuff. But here, this is a genuine sort of like property search tool. And it lends itself as a complement to whatever you have today to generate leads. And I'll go later. I have a few slides here to show you, what the benefits are and so on. But seeing is believing. So let's start with seeing how this works. I'll close this window. And by the way, there's a chat box there that you can send me messages. You already see that some people have sent messages. And if you have questions, then you can type that in and I'll try to look at this at the other screen where this comes up and I will try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. Anyways, so what I've done here is I have connected my cell phone remotely from my cell phone to the screen. And the reason for this, because I want to show you how this works. And I have a regular Samsung Galaxy, or what is it, an On5, $150 phone. And this has the features that you probably all know. I will open the messages part. I'll send the message. This is my daughter was sending me roses from Berkeley. So I'll create a message here. And the idea is that somebody walks on the street or they get a card from you. I'll go into this later. Or they look on Craigslist and they see an ad from you. And it says, text a location to see listings in that area or something similar. So they take their cell phone and they go to their texting tool. And you see what I've done here. I went to my texting tool. And on that panel or on that message, which is called a call to action, there's a phone number and they type that in. So let me type this in. So I'll do a 650. This is in my area. And then 600. 9593. So that's my texting phone number. Let's say that I'm a real estate agent and I'm in, I have this panel here in the Bay Area. I'm now in Redwood City, and I text this. This is my phone number on the panel. And let's say I want to know, let's say that I want to know listings in Redwood City. My zip code is 94062. I'll just type in the zip code 94062. And I'll click the send button. So this goes out from my cell phone to that phone number. And as you see, immediately it comes back with this message. Here is the link to the real estate that you requested. And there's a link in there. Now this link, I can tap on my phone on it. And this is my property search tool for, well, the agent's property search tool. And here are the listings, right? So if I can go here and take a look at any listing. So I click on this one. And this is from the MLS here. It's called MLS Listings in the Bay Area. And this is IDX based. So this is basically how this works. And if I want to repeat, if I want to change the parameters, then I go back, I click on search, and I type in a different location. Let's say I can type in, let me use the voice input here, Redwood City. Okay. Let me type this in. All right, and I click search. So now here I have listings from Redwood City. Okay, so what happens? So that's about how it works, right? So let's go now back to my presentation and let me show you what happened with the agent. So when I did this search, I'll open my Outlook and I'll show you what the agent has received. This is my Outlook, and it'll bring in the lead, and that lead is going to go in my also in my Realbird account. Suspense. All right, so here it says Realbird mobile lead. I don't know if you can see it on the bottom. Let me just have it finished, and then it's right down here. It's in the last message I got, and it says you've got the lead, and it tells me who has texted, and this is the phone number, my cell phone number. So this is the consumer's phone number, and it says what has been texted, 94062. The response that went back, which is the same link that I opened for you, and I'm opening it here in a different window. So I'll show this to you. So this is the same what you saw on my cell phone, and it shows me, so I know what they were searching for. And then there's all kinds of things in here that are related to the caller ID of whoever texted, whoever owns the phone number. So it has my name, it has my phone number, it has my address, it tells me whether it's a cell phone, it has some of my relatives and friends and things like that, whatever is in a caller ID database. So this is how it works. And let me go now and give you a little bit an overview of the benefits. So this is a short slide, very short slideshow. It's only about 5 slides. So the purpose here is to provide access via texting to all the homes in the market, right? This is via text messaging. The user interaction steps, and this is a little bit just so I give you an overview of what happened here a few minutes ago when I was showing you how to use this. A consumer, potential home buyer, walks by a sign. This sign can be either, I have another slide on this, how you can promote this, but in this case, I just gave 2 examples. One is a street sign. The other one is a Moo card that has your name. It's kind of like a business card. So somebody walks by that sign. What happens is he sees that the call to action, which is what I did, it says text any location to the phone number. This is what I did. And he texts the phone number. This is a different number. This is here with the other MLS in the East Bay. As soon as the consumer texts, the agent receives the consumer's caller ID, which I showed you, an email, and the consumer receives the link to the property search results. And then, obviously, this is it. The consumer can view the property details or do a new search, and I showed you how to do that. Now, in terms of the system architecture, I know you're not techies or anything, so this is the only slide that I have about that. But just so you understand how this works, because it's really interesting how the text messaging can be easily coupled to a property search. The cell phone sends a message to a phone server. Oops, sorry. The phone server, which is hosted someplace. This is not ours. This is whoever owns the phone number, whoever provides the phone number. It's a telecom. This phone server then sends the message to a RealBird server. The RealBird server receives the message, sends out the location to a geocoder. In this case, we use a Google geocoder. Then, based on the geocode, does a property search to bring back the listings from the database, then creates an SMS message back, which goes back to the telecom and then goes back to the user's cell phone. And of course, then the RealBird server also, that's not on here, also sends a message to the agent that with the lead. So that's the idea. So what are your benefits? Well, everybody has a property search on their website. I don't think there's an agent who doesn't have, or there's not many who don't have property searches on their websites. But the truth is that you are one among a billion then, right? Because everybody has it. Now with texting, there's the main reason for this service is because texting has become the preferred communication method by everybody, by young and old. Kids text from 4 years old or 3 years old, and old people text like me. Texting is much, much simpler and better than web browsing or apps. Apps, for example, I hear a lot of agents talking about apps. And the thing is, this is lead generation. How would anybody in the world download your app? They don't even know you, right? So therefore, it doesn't make any sense to have an app for lead generation. It may make sense for CRM, like instead of a listing alert, but it doesn't make sense. Who's going to stop and download an app and install it and whatever? So the apps are out in real estate. Web browsing is good, except that if I were to go back to my phone and show you the steps to web browse, I have to open my Chrome, I have to type in a website, then I have to find a search tool, then I have to figure out how it works. And by then, of course, will I do this, out on the street or waiting in a dentist office? Maybe not. But texting, as you see, is very simple. You send out the message to a phone number, it comes back, you tap on it, and bang, here it is. Plus, when you go home, you can easily find that link that you got back and show it to your friends and family. Next step, texting works for people with short attention spans. Everybody has a short attention span. I think this is the most missed point in real estate marketing today in lead generation. People talk about bringing a stream of leads to your website and squeeze pages and things like that, but the psychological side is not addressed. That is, a lot of people are afraid to email because they got their email on spams, or a lot of people are afraid to click on links on websites because they got viruses. A lot of people are not comfortable calling, et cetera, et cetera. But everybody's comfortable pretty much using texting and because they think they can't get viruses, which is not true, but it's much less likely and people don't know about it anyways. So they're ready to text, and they can always just block you, right? If they don't want to text with you anymore. So it works for everybody. So the homes by SMS is not a panacea, of course. I definitely don't recommend that that's all you do. It is it is very complementary to everything you do, and also it depends very much on how you market it. You'll see that. And I see some questions here from Deborah, Elva, and Terry. And well, Terry has no sound. I think that's on her computer, but I'll answer those in a minute. So hang in there. Okay, so this is works for sale and for rent lead generation as well. As you could see, the search tool, which in this case that I showed you was an IDX tool, and I'll show you in a minute also some hook, a search that works for the US using the RealBird property search. This works for both. So it depends on the call to action. If you in a call to action panel, you say, text XYZ to see for sale listings, then of course you set it up for sale. But once they get the link, they can always change for rent or for sale because it's a regular link. So the main thing here is that you always get an actionable lead. No other way to generate leads provides that. If you think about it, if you have a property search on your website or on Facebook or anywhere, I can go there, I can find your website, and I can play around your property search, but you will never know that I did that, who I am, until I identify myself. Either I fill out the form, sorry, or I call you or whatever. With texting, you instantly within 2 seconds you get the lead. Also, you reduce the amount of junk leads. Why? Because with email, anybody can send you a fake email, and there's lots of fake emails going around. Little kids playing in the Ukraine can play with your website from there and send you fake emails. But here, nobody's going to text, or not many people will text unless they're more or less seriously interested in what you have to tell them. And so you get, I think, much more qualified leads here, and you reduce the number of junk leads. The caller ID, as you saw, gives you a lot of information about the consumer. And so sometimes it includes net worth, sometimes it includes where they work and that sort of stuff. Many times I've seen that email is in there, so you can be prepared when you call back about who you talk to, so you tailor your message. And it's not just for buyer or renter lead generation. If you go into a listing presentation, I think you want to be out of the box, because every other agent who walks in there will tell the seller that they're going to put it on the MLS and they're going to syndicate it and they're going to do it on social media. But if you show them something that is a little bit different, then that gives you an edge. And it's really low cost. This is not anymore. Actually, I think it's cheaper than many of the other services out there. I've seen a lot of very simple text messaging using short codes that are $45 a month. And of course, if this is hooked up to an IDX fee, and if there is an IDX fee, then they have to pay that as well. But this is our fee: $100 setup, and then $45 a month. But your job is to promote it. This is useless, completely useless, unless people use it, right? Like anything else, like any tool. And so you have to promote it. So then the suggested practices, what do we suggest? Well, develop your perfect call to action. We give you a panel with the setup that says it's like a hanger panel, and you can change that. So we give you the graphics, and you can change that and make your own and figure what works best for you. Sometimes you want to the call to action is different because you want to target a particular zip code. So the call to action would say, text 94062 to this number to see listings in this area, or a city or something. You don't want them to just text any location. But you will figure this out as you go on, and you can fine tune that. And you can deploy and advertise your service using these various ways. And I'm sure you can come up with more. This is just a subset. For sale and sold properties, you can put the hanger on the sign right there. You can have these A-frame real estate sites and colonial frames and other sign spots. I see some agents putting those at the exit of the freeway or in we're in busy streets and they advertise an open home or whatever, you can put this on there. You can distribute cards or flyers at open home. So these cards are like that Moo card that I showed you, or your business card. If you have a office suite display panel, then of course you can put it in there. Print flyers are great. Stationery, business cards, postcards, mailings to your farm. I see many agents are still using print material. Usually they send out a card that says, go to this website and enter this code to see the value of your home, right? So that's a lead capture method. Well, the same way you can send out a card with this call to action. If you want to see listings in your area, text a location and you'll get back the listings. So mini cards, Moo cards, magnetic car signs, refrigerator magnet signs, you can give them out as gift with a call to action. Also, print material is good, but you can also put it in electronic means, like email signatures. You can put your call to action in a signature, or you can social media on Facebook, on the website and the blog, or Craigslist. The reason you want to do this, again, because with this you always get a lead, right? And that's your interest. You could put a link on Facebook and have them click on it and open the search tool, but if you do that, you don't know who they are until they identify themselves. But here you get the lead, and it's also more interesting. And then, here's an idea: set up relationships with local small merchants, restaurants, coffee shops, etc., and ask them to work with you with a coupon for discount merchandise, like 20% off coffee, or a discount for the restaurant, or whatever. And then on that coupon that people can download from your website, or you email it to them, or you mail it to them, you put this call to action on there. If you want to see listings, you can put your website in there, but also you can simply text your location to this phone number. Grocery stores, I have a Safeway store here that I go often, and they have these checkout separators. And one of the agents, I think Chet Lane, he's been doing this forever and ever, and it's if you look into that, it's not that expensive for what you get. It's those are the best way to reach consumers on the stores that they stand in line. And of course, there's also local radio ads. Many times these local radio ads are also very effective. They're not that terribly expensive. And we post these on this Homes by SMS on that website under the news section as we go on. This is a new service, so we're still working on it, but that's the idea. Well, so now the property search options. What can you hook this up to, right? So because there's the texting part, and then there is the property search. Well, the obvious thing is the RealBird OODL-based property search, and that covers the United States. What I showed you at the beginning was an IDX search. Well, let's see this OODL property search here. Let me get out of this, and I'll go to my cell phone again. And you can do this with me if you want. Here, let me just connect to my phone and then go back. So now I will create a new message. And in this case, I will use a phone number that is connected to our OODL-based property search. That is, let me do it, 408. And you can do it with me if you want. You can take out your cell phone and do it, 408. And then, I'm looking here at a different screen, 408 359 359. And then it's 4058 4058. Okay, so that's the phone number. That is my demo number, and it connects to my property search using OODL data. And in the message, I will put in now New York. New York. Now, this you will see I've set it by default in the setup to bring in rental properties. So it goes out here is the link. I tap on it. Here is the property search. I get 66,468 leads here. Not leads, I'm sorry, listings. And these are all rentals in New York. I didn't know that there were so many. But if I want to now change this and I want to look for sale, then I'll go up here where it's the default is set, which is the listing type. And then I'll select for sale. And I'll do the search again. I click on the search button. So now I get in New York 5,885 listings. If I tap on one of these, then I see the listing. Now, I also got for this search, for the first search, I got the lead. It will be me because I'm doing it. But if you guys want to try it, you're welcome. Again, the phone number where you send the message to is, you can write it down or you can email me later and try it out, 408-359-4058, and then just send something your area. I can go back and do a Chicago. So let's see what's in Chicago. So same phone number. Now I'm going to send Chicago. Chicago. Ta-da! It's back. I tap on it. So now I have listings in Chicago. So that's how it works. I mean, it's really simple. There's really nothing complicated about this in that sense, and you can try it out. Now, here are some other ways how you can connect it to your property search. So one was the Oodle-based property search. The other one is, let me just go to this slideshow here. The other one is IDX. We have only a few IDXs because we think IDX is every MLS wants money and this and that. And for lead generation, it really doesn't matter. It matters that you get somebody's lead. So in that sense, what they get back, it really does what the consumer gets back in terms whether it's an IDX based property or Oodle or Realtor.com, it doesn't matter. But we can hook it up to an IDX here where we are, or if you have a IDX property search on your website, then we can have to take a look at it. The requirement for us hooking up this texting to your property search that's on your website is that the search parameters are available explicitly to be manipulated. So on our server, when we get, let's say, Chicago or whatever, we can go and automatically query your property search and then manipulate it like that. So we have to take a look at it, and all you have to do is email us your property search if that's what you want to do. And some work, some don't. But also Realtor.com is possible. Now Realtor.com, I don't know if you use their property search. They get IDX from everywhere, and it's semi-branded in the sense that the listing agent's name and phone number is in every listing. But the nice thing here, and you have to understand this, is that it really doesn't matter. Why? Because somebody texts, you immediately get the lead, and you can call this person up right away and say, hey, I see that you looked for a listing in, I don't know, in downtown New York or whatever, and let me work with you. I'll send you some listings and let's get together and what have you. So they don't even have the time to figure out, who to call, why to call. Probably they wouldn't call anyways, because why would they call randomly every agent that they get in that list? So that's a possibility as well. So really, the goal is to get the lead here, and the property search and anything else you do really in lead generation, which is different again from CRM, where you have to nurture a client, you have to show them, go take them to open homes and stuff like that. But in lead generation, you want to know that somebody's interested in buying or selling or renting, and then the rest of it is just a way to get their information. So that's sort of like the idea here. Now I'm going to go to the questions here because I see a lot of questions, and let me start a little bit from the bottom here. Deborah is asking, does this only go to Outlook? It goes to whatever your email is. I use Outlook, but I actually read my Outlook from my Gmail. So it goes to any email. The email is you. The email has nothing to do with it. It's you get you get the email, whatever your email is. And that's the email that we put in your account. So you give us the email and then the leads goes there. And you can also log in. You get a RealBird Pro version with this, which is our regular RealBird Pro with some changes because of this texting, but there's a lead section as well. Elva, when will you add the national MLS IDX to the Pro? Ulul returns seems inferior to MLS data. Well, so there is no national MLS IDX. If there is one, then I'm not aware of it. Realtor.com is a national MLS, and the only reason we can use it with texting is because the texting is just an interface to it. We do not brand this to you. We do not give it to you. The texting is just another way to manipulate and search for consumers. So it's like, somebody would go directly to realtor.com and make a search, or you, the agent, would go to realtor.com, get a link, and say, okay, well, here are the houses in this and this zip code, and you would email it to the consumer. Well, of course, you would not do it because you would be afraid that if you email the link to that home buyer, then they would call those agents and not you. But here with texting, as I explained, that's not the case. So that's why it's such a good fit. It's they text. Who cares if the agent's name or phone number are in there? So we don't have an MLS. I mean, there's no national MLS, and we're not allowed by license or Realtor.com license to give you something that's theirs. The only thing that we have license to is this OODL-based property search. But hopefully there will be soon. They've been talking now for about at least 20 years about the national MLS, so hopefully they're gonna work. Stephen, so what is the search criteria? Looks you the client entered Oakland. There must be hundreds of other listings in Oakland. Yeah, I don't know if there's hundreds of other listings. There is really a big lack of listings in this area, but sure, the search criteria is whatever the search criteria is. But again, it doesn't really matter. So who cares about the search criteria? This is a lead generation system. The goal here is for you, Stephen, to get a lead, and from there on, you can give this person whatever search he wants, or email him, or put him on your email alert, listing alert, update them, what have you. The search criteria has to be simple because this is texting. So it's not like now with texting you can send parameters like price, bedroom. Theoretically you could, but what's the point? That's not the point. The point is not to have somebody do a real detailed search using texting. Instead, it's for them to see all the listings that are in there. Then they get the link. In the link, they can then type in, as you saw, I changed it from the parameters that are available in my property search. But if that's not enough, if you want to have them search by the color of the chimney, then hook up your own IDX if possible, and they do that. But in lead generation, that is not good because people have short attention spans. You want to know what they want, and the reason they pay you the big bucks is because you should help them find the listing, not put them on a road so that they do searches day in and day night and look at listings all the time. But anyway, so that's the answer. Jeff, can you text an MLS number to get out the scene? Yes, you can. So if it's hooked up to the MLS, then or an IDX, then that is possible. So we can you can text a single MLS number, and it returns the property if you don't text an address or a location. By the way, if you text an address instead of a zip code or a locality, so let's say I was to text my address, then what it does, it retrieves the listings in a zero point 0.1 mile radius around my location. So if I stand in front of a for sale house, and then I text that location of that house, then if there are other listings in that area in a 0.1 mile radius, then that's going to come up. All right, so let's see. Stephen, is your IDX a direct feed from the local MLS? Yes, my IDX that I showed you, and that's, as I said, we have 4 MLSs here in the Bay Area. One is MLS listings, the other one is berries in the North Bay, and then we have 2 IDXs in the East Bay. Those are direct IDX feeds. So there we apply for an IDX feed. We're approved with them, but we have to apply with the agent's ID, and then we set it up. But if it's with your IDX, of course, then we just hook it up to whatever on your website is, if that's possible. Sherry, can you send me a copy of suggested practices? Yes, sure. I have your email here, and but just to make sure, Sherry, if you could send an email to support@realbird.com, because we're really busy. I don't want to forget it, and I'm not sure if I have access, how I get access to chat stream. I guess I can, but anyways, I'll send this to you. Stacy, where does Oodle get the listings? Oodle is a classified site, and very much like Craigslist or Zillow used to be until end of June, when they stopped taking manual input. But yeah, they get their listings from whoever goes to Oodle and enters the listing manually. Or I think they get also some feeds from some agents who want to promote it through Oodle. Oodle is the second largest classified site. And again, the point here is lead generation. I'm not the one to say here that Oodle data is good. It's not as obviously, it can be as good as an MLS data, but for lead generation, it doesn't matter. For lead generation, the consumer looks at the listing, they get maybe back, I don't know, 100 listings or 600 listings. They look at a few, they like one, they inquire to you, and that's on the online version on your website. Here with the texting, they you immediately get a lead, so that's not even a point. Anyways, let's see, let's go further up here. What if you already have RealBird Pro? That's Deborah's question. Well, yeah, if you have RealBird Pro, then we would have to set up if you use a second. I'm sorry. If you have RealBird Pro and if you use our existing texting, which is an option for RealBird Pro, then you want to use the Homes by SMS, then we would have to send up a second RealBird Pro account with a different email if you want to keep using the first part. And there's some features that you can do in the existing texting service in Pro that you cannot do in the Homes by SMS for technical reasons. I don't want to go into that. But for example, listings, featured listings that get property codes, texting codes, that is not available in the Homes by SMS simply because it would create confusion in the interpretation of the data. So I can explain this more if you call me. But anyways, it's completely doable. You just have to have two RealBird accounts and 2 different texting phone number, one for one for the other. Dave was able to pull my listing in Sacramento, but there is no school info. Is that coming? Yeah, I know we had that school info in there, but somehow there was a problem with the service, and so we need to fix that. I don't know if that's what you refer to. It's not clear on your featured listing that are in RealBird. So that's not the Homes by SMS question. But send us an email with your listing that is missing that info, and we'll take a look, because it works in some places, it doesn't work in others. I think they changed something in there. So that happened, I think, just recently. Shaista, can I get all 4 Bay Area IDX or only the one I am connected to, like MLS listings? Well, again, you have, if for us to go and get an IDX feed for you, you have to be a member of that MLS. The other MLSs are not going to give you IDX feeds. But if you have an IDX feed from some other vendor for these other MLSs, we can take a look and see if they lend themselves for being connected to this texting interface. And, you know, about, I would say about half of them are. And the requirement is that these parameters for the search are in the link of the property search. So you can take a look yourself. If you look at the link of a search, and if the parameters are in there, then probably we can hook it up. But send it to us and we can take a look. But to get your own IDX feed, you have to, of course, be approved by the MLS. And so that's the thing there. Well, yes. So this is it. Unless you have other questions, let's see. Did I miss something? Oh, Deborah Cahill is asking RLS 2000 IDX. I don't really know these MLSs. Oh, there's 600 MLSs out there, so I don't know what RLS 2000 is. But Deborah, if you would email that to support@realbird.com, and we'll be happy to take a look at it and tell you if we can use that IDX. That's the only way, I think, that we can make sure. Anyways, let's see what else. Well, that's about it. I appreciate everybody's attention. To sign up, please email us, because I would have to walk you through the setup and stuff like that. Well, actually, we have to do the setup. I need to get the information. The setup is $100 for the regular setup, and then if there's IDX fees, then that's additional, and it's $45 a month. It's month to month, and this is an exciting product. Nobody else has this, or if you see it somewhere else, then let me know, because I haven't seen it, and I hope that you will start using it. Thank you very much for your attention. It has been a pleasure, and have a great weekend. I'll look forward to your emails. The recording will be on YouTube in about 2-3 hours in the afternoon, and I think you will get automatically an email with that. Or if you want to review it, certainly feel free to email me and I'll send you the recording. Have a great day.